James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
Another Silent Hill review in such a short time? Wow, that was fast. That's what you're thinking right now, is what I predict. And now what you're thinking is, wait a minute, this isn't the voice I recognize from the other videos. I know, I'm really good at this whole reading minds thing. You see, Mr. Game Over Hell himself has given me the opportunity to review a couple of games for this channel. So here I am. You can call me Soha, by the way. Hello. Probably seen me on the comment section a couple of times. Pleased to meet you. And yeah, while he played Silent Hill 1 for one of his Halloween reviews, I played Silent Hill 2. But is it really that good? Yes. Yes, it is that good. Developed and published by Konami in 2001, Silent Hill 2 is, as expected, a survival horror game for the PlayStation 2, much like the first game. Well, except the being for PlayStation 2 part. The story this time around focuses on James Sunderland, the textbook definition of an average Joe, who goes to Silent Hill after receiving a letter from his dead wife, Mary. No, hold on. It might sound like that is a spoiler, but it really isn't. It's pretty much one of the first things we get to know about the overall story. I know, something like your wife has been dead all along would be quite a twist for anything else, but we already are a couple circles deep into hell this time around.
Well, I'm alone there now. In our special place. Waiting for you.
I got a letter. The name on the envelope said Mary. My wife's name. It's ridiculous. Couldn't possibly be true. That's what I keep telling myself.
While in Silent Hill, James walks around in search for their special place while realizing that things are very wrong about the whole town. Despite being a sequel, Silent Hill 2 is in no way related to the first game, at least to my knowledge. It's a completely separate narrative that even takes this opportunity to tackle different topics from the first game. While in Silent Hill 1 we get to deal with cultists and the like, this time around it's pretty much all about James, in quite more ways than one, really emphasizing the psychological aspect in psychological horror, which is great, as it turns James into a much more sympathetic character compared to Harry Mason, making the story feel much more personal and relatable if you are able to understand its concepts. Even if James does act goofy from time to time.
Wait, there's something I gotta get.
Later, okay?
But it's really important.
What is it?
A letter from Mary.
Huh?
I wanna go get it, is that okay?
Yes.
I'll be upfront with you all. I didn't really grow up with the PlayStation 2. Not really because it wasn't from my time, but more because I only had it when the PlayStation 3 was already around the corner, and I only really got a select few games for it. This is my first time playing Silent Hill 2 even. so my perception on this game's graphics might be a bit skewed, especially because I played this with upscaling in an emulator, but I actually do think that this game has some really impressive graphics, especially for an early PS2 game. I'm sure that the focus, scope, and use of fog to keep whatever needs to be rendered to a minimum helps a lot in being able to push the character models to the best they can look this time. But still, everything looks really good. From the models to the environments and all the neat little details you can find in things such as storefronts, graffiti, and the such. The only thing that looks a little out of place are the cutscenes, which tend to look off at times from the way the characters move in them, which are motion captured, by the way. But while this might be the case in cutscenes where James talks to Laura, other times you have some very memorable cutscenes, like when we find Angela in the Woodside Apartments, or Maria's Fury in the hospital.
Anyway! What do you mean, anyway? You don't sound very happy to see me. I was almost killed back there. Why didn't you try to save me? All you care about is that dead wife of yours. I've never been so scared in my whole life.
It's actually quite commendable how so much has been done with so little. There's only, like, what, 4 characters in the game? Well, 5, count Mary, and everything else is just the enemies you fight, which are, well, I don't know, like 4 different enemies in the whole game, plus the bosses. If you've asked yourself what is up with this whole thing on Pyramid Head, well, then you should probably play the game. You'll understand then. Not like I think Konami should have used Pyramid Head in literally everything, but I understand, you know? I understand. Some people might say that great sound design is the kind that you never notice. And I agree with that statement, but there is always an exception to the proverbial rule, and this is one of them. I mean, being a survival horror game, it really needs an edge in terms of sound design, as it's paramount for making an eerie ambience throughout. There would be many sounds of many different things in many places all the time. Sometimes related to things that are actually nearby and you can interact with. Sometimes just to create even more noise to place you at the edge of your seat, despite there being nothing nearby. There are many moments where I have noticed different sounds playing, like rustling bushes nearby, tires skidding in the distance, and this one room in the prison area where you listen to a whole horse galloping right beside you as if you were in the middle of some gladiator arena. It's great. Though it's not just the ambient sounds. Menu sounds, footsteps, enemy noises, they're all wonderfully done. Especially the sound when you pick up an item. I love it. It's so catchy.
Laura! What are you doing?
Ha ha, I tricked you.
Open the door, Laura.
Why should I? I'm a liar, right? Want me to open it? Huh? Huh? Do ya? What's the magic word?
Laura?
Voice acting is an interesting one here. In general, it's serviceable. You can tell it's pretty amateurish, but it also has this charm to it, you know? Some line deliveries are totally disconnected from the scene they're happening, but at least we get things such as this.
You take it.
Thanks.
But there still are plenty of moments where the actors knock it out of the park with incredibly memorable moments.
Thank you for saving me. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserved what happened.
No, Angela, that's wrong.
Oh, but it's not just the sound design or voice acting. The soundtrack is also marvelous as well. Many of the tracks are perfectly fit for the moments they play in. Not just the guttural, demonic sounding tracks that often play when roaming alone in the dark, but also the ones that play during cutscenes that hit on a more relaxed side, sometimes even puzzling. Seriously, the track Promise immediately sends my mind straight to a puzzle game like Professor Layton, and I think that's exactly the kind of feeling that Akira Yamaoka, this game's composer, wanted to deliver through this track, as it plays during certain cutscenes that often leave you with more questions than answers.
But you're the same as me. It's easier just to run.
Oh right, of course. There's also a Theme of Laura, which is just a magnificent piece of music. By the way, nice nod to Twin Peaks. Did you know that there's a picture in the game that's made to look like David Lynch? Well, now you know. You're welcome. But, is it a good game to play? Well, yeah, I would say so. It does have tank controls, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Tank controls are totally fine if everything else is adapted for it, and this is one of those cases. I've never had any trouble moving around through this game's world, even if the camera angles aren't truly fixed. Movement is smooth and easy to get, but you have buttons for strafing that can help you with combat, which I never really used as I thought it was a bit awkward to use, which, speaking of, combat is also somewhat awkward. But it's not much of a problem, as I never really thought that a game such as Silent Hill is a game where you want to easily engage against enemies. It's all about the awkwardness of being a slightly above average dude in America trying to pipe... wait. Trying to assault... Okay, that won't really come out too well. Trying to strike monstrous anomalies in the wild. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit better. I personally didn't have many problems though, as the game provides ample supplies both for survival and combat, to the point I had tons of ammo I didn't really know what to do with other than open shop and have other people come around and be like, oh, I need some of these shotgun shells. I'll be like, sure, here you go. No need for change. Wait, that's what they would say. And I also had enough health drinks that I could fool around with a great knife for the heck of it. It's so goofy, I love it. So, is this just more Silent Hill? No, it's much more than that. Silent Hill 1 is a great game, but Silent Hill 2 is as renowned as it is for a reason. It takes the foundational greatness established in the first game and delivers one of the most fine-tuned psychological horror experiences you can have in a video game that tells an amazing story of a man living with his sick wife. There are multiple endings you can get, but I only managed to get one so far, as it's a bit more complicated this time around compared to the first game. Each ending asks you to do very specific things through your entire playthrough, so no going back to a certain save and doing something different to get a different ending this time around. There are 3 serious endings, and each of them will hit you like a truck. I know the remake is out and all that, but don't overlook the original release. It still is a marvelous experience. And we would love to read your thoughts about this game in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and take care.